Hello and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen and today we're not making soap. I'm going to make something a little different. We are going to be making magnesium oil and a magnesium lotion. Why would we even do this? Well, transdermal magnesium is really wonderful. First of all, you know, homemade lotion is terrific. And the additive of magnesium kicks it up a notch. It is said to have muscle soothing properties and several other benefits of magnesium. And let me tell you the difference. So let me show you first of all, the magnesium we're going to be using today is this. It's magnesium flakes, 100% pure. This is magnesium chloride on the ingredients. All right, let me tell you the difference between these magnesium flakes and Epsom salt. Epsom salt. I don't know why that's just a tongue twister for me. But, and Epsom salt is great. People will take baths in them to sort of soothe achy muscles. It's supposed to help with maybe a migraine headache. It's supposed to relax the smooth muscle tissue. But Epsom salt is, I have my little bullet notes down here, is magnesium sulfate. Now these magnesium flakes that I have are magnesium chloride, which is said to be a pure, it's a higher grade magnesium. They're both great. Epsom salt is a super inexpensive way to get, you know, that wonderful soothing benefit if you make bath salts and things like that. It's terrific. I'm not dissing Epsom salt, but these magnesium flakes kick it up a notch. They're just a higher, more pure quality because they are a magnesium chloride. Let's see, and also, the magnesium chloride is supposed to be more easily absorbed into the dermis layer of your skin. When you're doing a transdermal lotion, you want, you know, that absorption. And so this magnesium will be more readily, you know, bio-readily available for your skin to sort of take in and absorb if you want the benefits of a topical transdermal magnesium lotion, which is what we're making today. So the first thing we have to do is make magnesium oil, which isn't really an oil. It's basically just a magnesium water infusion, and we'll go through that step by step. But when we make that, and then we will be using that in our lotion that we're making today, and I will be using, because, you know, this is a transdermal, almost a, I don't want to say medicinal, but just, you know, a wonderful soothing sort of theme with this lotion. I'll be using my lavender essential oil, and I got this from Green Health. People are very picky about their essential oils. You can use whatever brand you love. There's some major big ones out there and some not so big ones out there, and you do your research and choose the essential oil that you're comfortable with and love. You don't have to use an essential oil at all. You can leave it unscented. But I thought the lavender essential oil would just really go along with the theme of this being sort of soothing, muscle relaxing. It's supposed to help tension headaches. If you have tension migraines, this transdermal magnesium lotion is supposed to be very nice feeling for that sort of a thing. So that's what we're doing today. So first thing I have to do is get my hairnet on and get all my surface area sanitized and clean and get everything prepped and ready to go. And we'll come back first and make our magnesium oil, and then we'll make a magnesium lotion. Okay, we are back, and I'm making the magnesium oil, if you will. And the reason why it's called an oil is because it has an oily-like feeling on your skin. So what I have going on here is when you make magnesium oil, you have a 50-50 split for a normal dilution of distilled water and the magnesium flakes. A 50-50 split here. I need 22 ounces of water and 22 ounces of magnesium flakes. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing this water, I have it on my little hot plate here, going to bring it up to a simmer, add the magnesium flakes in there. When it's nice and simmery, low boil, let them dissolve completely, and I will turn off the heat, and then we're going to set that aside, and that is going to be our liquid portion for the lotion we're going to make. So while this is coming up to temperature, I'm going to bring my scale over. I've sanitized everything that I'm going to be using today. Everything is really nice and clean. So I'm going to pull my scale over, and we will measure out our lotion ingredients while this is coming up to temperature, because then we have to get the lotion ingredients melting, and so they're all nice and hot when we blend it together. So let me go get my scale, and we'll get on to the next step as this is heating. All right, the first oil or butter that we're going to measure in here is I need 2 ounces of shea butter. So I have this rich, creamy shea butter, and I have my bowl teared out. I need 2 ounces of shea. Actually, all of the different oils and butters are going to be 2 ounces each. So let's get the shea butter in here. Go. Now we need 2 ounces of mango butter. Here's the mango butter. So nice. I love this. Has such a good skin feel. There we go. 2 ounces of mango. And now I need 2 ounces of jojoba oil. Let's get that measured in here. And jojoba oil is actually a wax, and it has a very light, very easily absorbable into your skin feel. I just love it. And I didn't want this to be too heavy, so that's why I chose jojoba. Oh, I went a teeny bit over, but that's okay. I'm at 2.2 ounces, and you know, there's a little fudge room, so we'll call it 2 ounces. 2 ounces of jojoba. And last but not least, I have 2 ounces of my organic hemp seed oil, which is just wonderful. Very rich and good for your skin. It's great. All right, the next ingredient, I need 3 ounces of emulsifying wax. All right, last but not least in here, I need 3 ounces of stearic acid. Okay, so now we need to get this all melted together. You can pulse it in the microwave. Some people absolutely hate the microwave, and you can use a double boiler. That's wonderful. If you have one of those conductive tops, you can do that. Just any method that you choose to melt your oils and butters, get them melted, and we'll bring the hot plate back over because it's almost ready to get the magnesium oil going. All right, you can see we're almost up to a boil. I'm going to let that get more to a boil here, but I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can pick it up or not. Gosh, the lighting is really hard. Probably not with the brightness, but the magnesium flakes here are starting to sweat. They will pick up moisture in the air, so you definitely want to keep them in a sealed container until you are ready to use them. It's not bad, but it will make them stick together. So that's why I measured this and set it out right before I needed it, because they do pull moisture from the air. So just be mindful of that. All right, as soon as this gets to a boil, we'll add it in, and you'll see it dissolves very quickly. So that's very handy. All right, we're back. We've got a nice boil going. So let's pour our flakes in here. Just be careful not to splash up on yourself. And you can see how this sort of stuck in there. That's the moisture that it was pulling from the air. The humidity coming off this water boiling, as well as the fact that I'm in Middle Tennessee and it's humid, even though I have a dehumidifier going, so there's a lot of moisture in the air. And I'm just stirring this a couple times, and you're going to see it dissolve very quickly. So after I get this all dissolved in here, I'm going to turn the heat off underneath it, and I will measure this out again and weigh it and see how much liquid I have, because you lose some in the evaporation. As long as we're close to 22 ounces, it can dip a little, and that is totally fine for the lotion, but that's what we're shooting for, about 22 ounces. You know, lotion has a little bit of wiggle room. If you want to increase or decrease things, it's not a hard and fast recipe. There are ratios and things, especially when it comes to preservatives and essential oils. You have to do your percentage of the total volume, but within the lotion recipe you actually do have some wiggle room to customize it, make it your own. So I'm going to let this come up to a simmer again, and then I'll turn off the heat and we will get moving forward. All right, we're ready to go. There is our beautiful magnesium oil, if you will. And let me just tell you, some people actually like the tingle. You could let this cool down and put it in a spray bottle and use this directly transdermally. A lot of people will just use straight magnesium oil. But I find it's very tingly on my skin. I don't find it pleasant. In the lotion, I don't feel a tingle at all. But if you're hardcore, you can use that for all the benefits of transdermal magnesium. So let me just, I've got my scale on teared out here, and I'm going to see how much I've got. There we go. 22 ounces, a little over, but 22 ounces. and that's what I'm going to use to make this lotion. Okay, here's where the magic happens. We've got our heated oil portion here that's got the butters, the oils, and the stearic acid and emulsifying wax. Here's our liquid portion. We're going to add the two together, and it'll turn into this beautiful milky substance. And I'll get that blended up, and now we just wait for it to cool down. The cool down period is the part where it takes some patience. And I will use my stick blender here to get it nice and emulsified together, just because I like it, and I think it makes a very creamy finish when I do the stick blender. You don't have to, but I love it. All right. So, cool down. We'll come back when it's cooled off. This is very hot, so it's probably going to take, upside of an hour to cool down. So we'll be back in a bit. All right, it's been about a little over an hour, and we are nice and thick and cooling down to, I'll go get a thermometer here. Here, let's take the temperature and see what we're at. 93, so it's definitely safe to add my preservative and essential oil. So for the volume I'm making today, I'm using my preservative Optifen at a rate of 1.5%. So I'm using 0.5 ounces of Optifen, so half an ounce of Optifen. And then for lavender essential oil, the usage rate is 2%. And so I'm using 0.7 ounces of lavender essential oil. So that's what's in here, and we're going to go ahead and add that. So if you are using a different preservative, if you're using Germaben or one of those, even Optifen Plus, you're going to need a different, make sure your usage rate is good. So don't just use the amount I'm using, double check your own usage rates. And so now I just need to gently get this stirred in. This is actually a little bit thick. I could have stirred this in a little bit ago. When it gets down to, the 120 range, it's a little easier to incorporate, but because you don't want to splash, but that's all right. We'll just take our time, kind of whisk it around. If I have to get my stick blender out again, I will. So yeah, the preservative and the essential oils you want to add in after it's, definitely cooled off a good bit. I would say under 120 degrees Fahrenheit would be a good goal. So here we go. And this is such a beautiful, thick, I think that this recipe is a little thick for a pump. It might work in a pump, but it's very thick. If you wanted to make this a little thinner, what you could do is replace the butters with a liquid oil, or you could reduce the stearic acid, and that would loosen it up a little bit, or just increase the liquid oils. All of that would work to make this a little bit thinner. You could even increase the water volume. So I think this is, I don't know, I think this is a little too thick for a pump. So now I'm going to let it finish cooling off. It's still warm to the touch at 93 degrees. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit more. And I have my piping bag here ready to go. And the only reason I pipe it into the jars is just to make it a little neater. You could spoon this into jars, but I like to get it in the jars when it's cool, and then I leave it sitting with the lid off until it's completely cool, because I don't want any condensation in the jars. So we'll just give it a few more minutes, and we'll get to getting it in the jars, and then we'll come back for the labeling. All right, it's time to get our lotion piped into the jars, and today I'm using 6-ounce jars with these cute little metal lids. I got these on Amazon. They are in my Amazon store, the link down below, and I just thought the 6-ounce size would be really nice for this magnesium lotion. So I have it on the scale here, teared it out. I'm going to get this in the piping bag just to make sure I can fit 6 ounces in each of these jars, because I like to label accurately. Oops, sorry, kind of blocking your view there. Nothing really special to see. It's still a little fluid, but that's okay. This is going to thicken up as it finishes cooling, but I wanted to get it down in the jars while it was still nice and workable. So I'm not doing a piping tip or anything. This isn't a body butter. It's not stiff enough to really hold a design. So just got it in the bag. I'm just going to snip the tip on here. There we go. And we will get to piping. And let's see. Oops, made a block. So these hold a little over 6 ounces, which is perfect. Isn't that luscious? All right, let me get the rest of these jars filled up. They're all in the jar, and so the gloves are off, and I wanted to just show you, I'm going to scrape out the bowl and use the lotion that's in here, how quickly this absorbs. And I'm going to tell you, I already know that this does not leave any tingly sensation on your skin. It just feels very relaxing with the lavender essential oil and the magnesium. This is great if you have restless leg syndrome or have trouble falling asleep at night, muscle aches after working out. This is just fantastic. The magnesium will soak right into your skin. A lot of people are magnesium deficient anyway. I'm not a doctor, but I know magnesium can be an issue for some people. This is a wonderful way to supplement your magnesium. It doesn't leave a greasy feel. It absorbs very quickly. It's not shiny or greasy. It's just very, very smooth, very deeply moisturizing. This is not a light lotion, it's a very moisturizing lotion, but it feels wonderful. So I hope you give the recipe a try, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. So I'm gonna let these finish cooling, then we'll get the lids on, we'll come back with the labels, and that'll be in a little bit. But anyway, I do hope you give it a try. Also, I wanted to show you that these jars come with little foam liners already in the lids. So when you seal it down, it seals the little foam liner on these for extra, secure. So it makes it nice, leak-proof, sanitary. It's great. All right, so now the lids are on. I'm going to come in with my rubbing alcohol and spritz a clean paper towel and just wipe the outside of the jars and get them nice and squeaky clean in case I had any lotion-y on my hands when I pick them up, and that way the labels will adhere much better if you get a nice clean jar. It's time to get the labels on. Again, I get my labels from onlinelabels.com, and I use Maestro Label Designer, and so I've got them all printed out, ready to go with the ingredients, the weight, all my pertinent information is on here. And here, like I do with my round jars, I've got my little spatulas, which keep the jars from running away on me. I love it. It holds it steady, because before I figured this out, I was chasing them around the table trying to get my labels straight. It was really kind of a bummer. So now it's quite easy. Just line it up, stick it on, and there you go. After I get the labels on all of these, I will come back in with my heat gun and shrink bands and get them shrinked up, and that's all there is to it. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything going on in the soap studio. And if you give the recipe a try, let me know how you like it.